The idea is you give the kids a perspective from both sides. Good. Happy here if someone needs it.
Mr. Perry's sixth grade classroom has all the typical tools for learning. But the one thing that might be a little atypical is Dennis Perry himself.
To me, one of the greatest thrills of this is looking at these kids and wondering where they're going to be in 20 years and if you had an impact on where they are in 20 years.
Perry is just one of 3 male teachers at Callisburg Elementary, out of a sea of dozens of women teachers here.
He just kind of has a different way of teaching. He teaches us through fun activities and games, which helps us learn a little bit quicker.
Let's review this.
Jim Jurgen and Heath Turnbow
Keep going, boys.
are the other 2 men on the teaching staff.
I enjoy kids. Coaching is a big part of something I like to do.
They're part of a rare breed, men in classrooms of elementary-aged kids, where the majority of teachers by far are women.
I enjoy coming every day, and part of my job as a PE teacher is to get kids into better shape and kind of build their self-esteem, and it's fun. It's kind of like I'm a kid again. What's up, Rosie?
But fewer men are now doing what Mr. Perry, Mr. Jurgen, and Mr. Turnbow did.
Ready? Switch.
Taking jobs teaching young children.
Then you come back over it with a black Sharpie. You feel like, well, maybe I've made a dent there, and that to me is better than a pay raise.
According to the National Education Association, among all teachers in the U.S., only 24% are men. It's a 40-year low, and that number may not be getting better anytime soon.
I think if you asked most elementary students what they want to be when they grow up, there would be very few boys that said teachers. And that's a shame because they can make fabulous teachers.
It got a little more complicated than that.
One theory for the shrinking number of men in the classroom is salary.
The fact of the matter is, you don't go into education for the money. You go into education because you love kids.
Callisburg principal Rusty Clark has been in education since the late 70s and says education from both men and women is beneficial because of the different perspectives it brings to the classroom.
I went into education because I just can't imagine myself doing anything else.
But unless more men decide to make education their career,
I think a lot of kids need a good male role model, especially at a young age, somebody besides their parents.
Education experts believe that perspective will continue to dwindle. But for the 3 men who teach at Callisburg Elementary,
they can't get enough positive reinforcement.
Their jobs have never been more important.
It's like leaving a legacy.